So hello, finally, I've actually got something exciting to share with you. I did wonder if this day would ever come, but I'll just give you a quick catch up because it was just before Christmas that we last spoke about my detecting journey. I'm still making mistakes. I still forget occasionally I've got a thumb ring on and get all excited about the signal on my pinpointer and then realise wrong hand. I still occasionally pick up when I'm over a hole and my finds bag's in front, learning to move that. But hey, I'm really enjoying it, and in fact it's addictive. I've actually got to knuckle down and do a bit of work. But I feel like I'm doing my apprenticeship. I think that's the best way to describe it at the minute. But Christmas for us, we didn't have our Christmas till the weekend after because the family couldn't get together. So Christmas Day, I did go to see my mum, and then it was like, do you mind if I have a few hours in your field? That was interesting because that's the first time I've been on paddock that's got really old long grass on it. Yeah, I'm well on my way to making a baler. My poor dad, that used to be our hayfield. I have found so many bits of the baler, little bits of tractor. Did I find anything exciting in that field? What did we get? A button, so you can pretty much say no. But I enjoyed it and it was lovely to be out. I also got out onto the beach. I'll share that picture with you now. Yeah, my sister calls me a bar humbug because I could give Christmas a miss. I celebrate Yule. I love the traditional ways, if you like. I feel Christmas has got a little bit commercialised. So yeah, my reindeer antlers were in sort of for her coming with me and helping dig on the beach, and it's just nice. Some days I love being on my own, but some days I love having the company. So what did we find that day? Hot Wheels, but it is a Tesla. And £2 coins. Yay! So but it's fun and I really enjoy spending time with my sister as well, and I will get her addicted to it one day. She likes it, but not enough to get cold or muddy at the moment. So then I started back in my paddock again because they're here and they're available, and to be honest I normally go out and have 2 or 3 hours, but because it is so wet and so muddy, and when I come in I'm lathered up to the eyeballs, I'm just like, well, if I'm going to get muddy, I'm going to make a day of it. So my paddock looks like a chessboard because every hole I dig in there, for that one, in that one hole, there will be so many different signals. There'll be iron tones, there'll be high tones. So I've learnt now if there's a decent enough high tone in between that, I will dig it. And mostly I get a lot of these. Yeah, horseshoe nails from England. But I also get some quite interesting nails. I love a handmade nail. And I'm getting quite a few of these up as well. They're like, I don't know, bosses is what I would call them. You know, don't know. Really don't know what they are. So if anybody can tell me what these are, all different, all hammered, I'd love to know. So please, any advice on that, that would be super. So yeah, happily digging away in there, but every now and then something will come up and it's worth it. I mean, I'll get a buckle in there amongst all those nails, or I'll get a coin. So let's have a look in my little box here at what we've been finding in the paddock. We have a lot of these, a lot of rings. I mean, what are they for? Because they're not really thick enough to be for harness or anything. And as for curtain rings in the middle of a paddock, I really can't see that. But hey, I'm open to learning. What else did we find in there? Oh, that was something I learnt very early on. When you're reading the advice on how to clean your coins, do not soak copper coins in water. When these came out of the ground, I should actually read the dates on them. There's some quite early ones on there, and now they're absolutely toasted because I did the olive oil thing that I read online. No, they don't need water, they just want cleaning off, and I've learnt that now. So thankfully I only wrecked those 4 before I actually learnt my lesson. So carrying on in the field, I did find a little William and Mary farthing. Now I'll do a close-up of this for you as well. So this is it coming out of the ground. As you can see, it was a lovely wet muddy day, and mine is very worn, as you can see, and it's quite hard to photograph. It's a lot easier to see under the actual microscope, but it was still a really exciting find. You can just see Britannia on the back there, and yeah, I was still pleased to get it, but this is what it would have looked like when it was actually new. But when that came out the ground, it felt, and it still does. I think one of the reasons I got into being an antique dealer, because when I feel a piece, I can actually feel the history in it. I can't describe what that actually means, but I know if I pick up a bit of repro and I pick up an original, I know that's the original and I know that's repro without looking at it. It's to do with the feel, whether it's energy, what it is, I don't know. But when that came out, yes, it's worn, but oh, that feels really, really nice. So that kind of perked me up a little bit. And then I found these bronze rings. Again, I'll show you the work. They were quite near. Now I think these must be harness, because they've got this quite interesting worked edge. I mean, yeah, when you first see it, you get all excited and start reading about Celtic ring money and and now I've realised that everything that people have got out there that's meant to be Celtic ring money is quite possibly harness. But these are strong and they're worked, and I say I'll do a close-up for you of these as well, so you can have a look at what I mean. But around this time, I was starting to dig quite a bit deeper for these as well. We're talking a good couple of feet down. So my little Vanquish is coming through for me time after time. While I'm digging, I also find interesting things. Teeth, not human, I'll add. Love the bits of pottery that I'm finding as well. And it's all giving me an insight, lots of clay pipe bits, into what was actually in the field, and giving me a bit of a timeline on it as well. So I have this fascination with horseshoes, as I know I've already bored you about them before. But the picture I'm going to bring up now, I've got to give credit to the West Kent Detectors Club, because I found that on their page. And again, horseshoes are quite common to find, but they really give you a good structure of the timeline. So I'll just show you this one now. As you can see, when I'm digging quite deep down, this is part of a horseshoe, the thicker the width on those, you're starting to go back and back and back. So, and these aren't draft horses, though. When I say not draft horses, yes, there would be riding horses though, not working horses, because they're quite small. So it would have been a heavier breed of horse, probably what we look at like the Irish drafts now, with a little bit of cross, maybe some of the cob breeds, because people were smaller then, and they also rode smaller, stockier horses. We see all these beautiful pictures with these on these great big chargers, but actually I think in reality they were much stockier, and built to carry weight. So this one especially I like, because you can see it's got that wavy edge to it, and that's now where we're going. Now this was a good 2.5 foot down, so this was giving me my timeline. There is no toe clip on that, that's another thing to look out for. The early ones didn't have it, and only 3 holes either side as well, so we're probably looking medieval. So that, I know it's only a bit of rusty metal, but I actually found that really exciting. Thing is, if you're not digging the iron tones, yes, it's great if you're just treasure hunting, and I get it, people do that, but it's about the history for me. So being able to find those, this one again, because of that, I say the thickness, that's a nice early one as well. And then when they start to get that bit's called calkins, that little clip on the end, that was to do with the wear. And also a lot of the what I would call the working horses that are only in the fields, they wouldn't have those on. They weren't worried about that type of wear. Then you would get like this fulled edge. Now this is more modern. I say modern, we're still looking at probably early 18th, late up to the 19th century these were made. But again, because of that width, but that's that little ridge there, you can see. So that's your fulled edge where the nails would go in. And then moving through time, these are all in the field. So this is what I mean by a toe clip. Can you see that bit there? So that would be at the front of the shoe. And then we've got these calkins here. So again, these aren't huge shoes. This is a bigger draft breed, definitely. And there's another one there, slightly similar. But when our Shire horses were on our farm, so when my grandparents came in the early 40s here and bought the farm, they did have Shire horses. Now the Shire horses, I will find one another day, but they are this size. They're like dinner plates. So that's interesting how the breed's changed as time's gone on. So that, I say, was all quite exciting to me in a way. But then it was like, I almost got stuck because I would then go out another day and it was back to this sort of thing. And this is just little bits that I've kind of picked out because there is a massive scrap pile. And I think I'm well on my way, like I say, to a baler, half a baler and probably a quarter of a combine, as you can see by this picture now. Just to give you an idea, this is just one day, some of the bigger bits that I've taken out. In fact, there was so much clay in the field, I reckon I could supply the Great Pottery Throwdown. So what is my fascination with horseshoes? I think I was always growing up that we would always have them this way up. And so the look didn't run out. But then somebody else told me, I don't know whether it was in Cornwall or somewhere, that they like them this way so the devil can't sit in them. So hey, but with it being called Shire's Rest, because my building, the work where I'm going to live is actually the old stable for the Shire horses that we had on the farm. So I think that's perhaps that good luck thing, and also part of the history then as well. So I was getting a little bit like, because I got a bit more time this time of year, I was on the beach, and I've been out to the beach a few times, and I went one freezing cold foggy day, and literally I think it was the 42p's worth of, and I say crud, we're talking proper crud. Oh my god. Probably get a rock tumbler and clean them up eventually, because what I'm wanting to do is all the actual money change I get, I'm planning to keep it for the year, and anything I've got at the end of the year I'm going to donate to a charity. So that's my goal with that. And so I've been going along thinking about how much I'm enjoying it. So the William and Mary coin, really excited about. So then what did I do? Well, I got myself a little treat for Christmas. Let me show you. So this is my new gadget and I love it. So yeah, the close-up shots that it's given me has just helped my fascination with things grow even more. So I'm becoming an actual real anorak. Hey, we've got to amuse ourselves somehow, haven't we? So that was really interesting, and I'm really enjoying, because now I find I'm not over cleaning anything I find. I was going to say coins, like I find loads. But when I do get something, I've learned that just gently wipe it, let it dry naturally, pop it under there, get a little fine wooden toothpick, and just pick all the soil off, and it comes off. And then you don't lose that lovely patina that I've got with this little William and Mary, which I showed you earlier on, and the feel of that is beautiful. So yes, I'm learning the hard way. But let's talk about my exciting thing that I found. I'll just show you the picture of the day I found it. So I was getting after that last time on the beach. I'd been out 4 times, found pretty much nothing but tons of rubbish. I was cold, wet, muddy, and I felt every time, because every time I come home, I clean my detector, I clean all my car, I put everything away. So if I get anywhere where I'm at a friend's and they go suddenly, oh, come on here, Louise, you're welcome. You don't ever miss an opportunity. So yeah, it was kind of feeling like, not that I'd lost the pleasure or the excitement, but it was feeling a little bit like hard work. But I understand that. And I kept saying to myself, it's okay, you're taking out the rubbish. You know, this is a service, you're getting out there and you're enjoying the fresh air. And that's why I took this up as a hobby, because I wanted to have something that would help me get out, enjoy the fresh air, and probably meet some new people as well. So I'm not regretting that at all, but I kind of said to myself, please, can I find something exciting? And then the God smiled on me. So I found my first Elizabethan coin. I'll do your proper close up, but that tiny little thing, which is quite interesting because I'll show it next to a sixpence under there. It's the same size as I could say modern sixpence, a more modern sixpence, but it's actually a 3p and it's Elizabeth I. And to see the date on it, 1573, I actually, other people do gold dances, I've got a silver hammered dance now. And when the picture, you can see I look like I have lost it and really need sectioning. But I was just so excited, and have a friend there with me as well who shared in my excitement and understood, because my lucky friend found a silver hammered on her first day out ever with a detector. So I felt like my 4 months, I've paid my dues. I felt like I graduated that day almost. I know I'm hoping it's the start of many things. I went back in the field again. I've been out in my paddock 2 or 3 times. I've took lots more junk out. But there's so many huge bits of metal in there. I'm quite happy to keep taking them out. I think it's a good thing to do. But then I found a musket ball. Little lead one. So that then just raises the interest again, and it's like, wow, so there's musket balls in the field. We've got medieval onward horseshoes. I've heard that the village, had Saxon origins. We know there was a Saxon village, but that's just slightly further over from my field. But there was also meant to have been battles fought here. Just a little bit further was literally where the coast was, and with reclaimed land as it's gone on. So there's just so much more to discover, and that is what keeps me going and what excites me. So I hope I've not bored you, but I hope really it gives you a bit of inspiration that if you don't give up, the things are waiting for you. And if I don't find anything for another few months, that will stay with me, and that coin will stay with me forever. I'm really, really lucky that I have lovely friends that have allowed me on their property and then have said to me that I can keep that willingly, and they're happy for me. So that was amazing, because I had to say, look, if you want it, it's yours, you can have it. And they were like, no. So I'm like, yes. So, but that I would never part with it. And I found it quite sad because I've always been a little bit intimidated by some of the posts on. I watch a lot of the metal detecting videos on YouTube. I've learnt so much from them. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all the knowledge of Crawford's, where I got my detector from, watching their videos on how a detector works. Seriously, if you ever want to get into this, watch them, because then your expectations are realistic, because you understand what the machine can do. But equally, I found 2 detecting Facebook sites that I found are really supportive, and one is the Metal Detecting Days in UK, and they seem a really lovely bunch. I've not been out with them yet, but they gave me that feeling that I would want to. So I'm hoping I'll be able to join them when the weather's better. And then the other one was the Detecting for Newbies Facebook page. Well, I popped it on there thinking I just wanted to give people a bit of hope that I might only have a very basic machine, but if it's there, you can find it. And it went to over 10,000 likes the other day. So I was like, wow. So I really hope that if you got one for Christmas especially, and you're not knowing where to start, just do what I did. Go onto YouTube, Google, I worked out what machine I wanted that I could afford, because believe me, I would go for the 540, the Vanquish 540 if I could, but I don't care because I found that fabulous little coin with my little 340. So that's exciting. But I think expectations, I expect to dig a lot of rubbish for a long time. I don't want to be one of those people flying up and down a field just taking the good bits. I want to learn about what's under there. So I hope I hope it's inspired you to keep going if you're struggling, because I think I'll probably have another 3 or 4 months now, but hey, but it's fascinating, it's exciting, and as you've probably gathered, I'm addicted. Thanks for being here with me. Goodbye.